Hey, what's up everyone, it's Phil Meyer. Welcome to my guide and walkthrough to Silent Hill 3. This guide will serve two purposes, and before we get started, give me a moment to explain how that'll work. First, this serves as a complete walkthrough to Silent Hill 3. If you're just picking up this classic or need a refresher, this guide is for you. And second, I've retained all of the game's cutscenes, so if you're looking to catch up on the story and just want to watch a playthrough, this guide is also for you. If you need subtitles during those cutscenes, turn on the YouTube captions. I've also included chapter timecodes, so at any time feel free to use the timestamps in the description to jump to what you're looking for. We'll be playing a disc image of my original PlayStation 2 copy of the game, which I purchased in 2003 under the PCSX2 emulator with widescreen patches and higher resolution. In my opinion, this is one of the better ways to experience the game today. Now let's get started and help Heather out on her journey.
Where am I?
We take control of Heather as she enters the nightmarish amusement park. This is the tutorial area where we can get familiar with the game. Our goal is to reach the end, but if Heather dies along that way, we'll wake up from this dream immediately. In this area, we'll find two of the game's main enemies, the Double Head, which I'll just call Dog, and the Closer. During this playthrough, I'll be avoiding most of the enemies, which, once you know where you're going, is an efficient way to make your way through the game.
What a nightmare. Dad, it's me. Yeah. Sorry I didn't call sooner. Yeah, I guess I was. Anyway, I'm coming home now. Oh, I didn't get that thing you asked me to. Okay. Okay, I will. I love you too, Dad.
Heather, I need to speak with you. My name is Douglas Cartland. I'm a detective.
A detective? Really? Well, nice talking to you.
Hold on. There's someone that wants to meet you. Just let me have an hour. No, half an hour of your time.
My daddy always told me not to talk to strangers.
This is very important. It's about your birth.
I'm not interested. Are you still following me? Do I have to scream?
Sorry. I'll wait here.
In the bathroom we can save our game, and since Heather doesn't want to interact with Douglas, we'll need to find another way out. We can examine the mirror to learn Heather's feelings towards her reflection. Heather's reflection is an important theme to the game, and this is our first foreshadowing of events to come. On a first playthrough, there isn't much to do in this alley other than head back to the mall. However, on Extra New Game, if you've unlocked the infinite submachine gun, it can be found behind Heather in a stack of boxes. There are a number of doors that can be checked here, but they're all locked or otherwise blocked. We'll get funneled down a single path towards the end of this hallway.
What the hell is this thing?
Heather starts the game with a pocket knife, making the handgun the second weapon we'll pick up. There's more ammo here on the bench, and then we can leave the room through the other exit. Let's grab the mall's map and then proceed through the exit. We'll proceed to the second floor, and then we can find the game's next enemy, the Numbody. You can take them out if you'd like to, though they're not too difficult to avoid. There will be more of them in this hallway in just a little bit. There's a key item we'll end up needing in the second floor court, so I'm going to head directly to the bakery and pick up the tongs. Also in this area is the bookshop, which is locked. We'll come back here in a moment. Returning to the back hallway, there are 2 rooms we can enter here. In this next room is the double head, which I'll be calling Dog throughout the rest of the video. The dog is distracted by a meal on the ground, and on the crate on the left we can pick up the beef jerky. When used properly, the jerky can be used to distract enemies, and this room serves as a mini tutorial for that. Now, an extra new game, if you've unlocked the beam saber, it can be found at the very end of this hallway. In our case, we just want to duck into this next room. We can find some ammo, health items, and a save point. In addition, we'll see that there's a key just slightly out of reach, and we can use the tongs that we picked up from the bakery to grab it. If we examine the key, we can see that it's for the bookshop, so that's our next destination. Now the hallway is filled with more numb bodies. We won't be coming back here, so we can avoid them and move on. Now in the bookshop we can find some ammo in the back, and if we check the door at the end we'll see that it's locked with a key code. There's a note here that gives a hint on how to unlock it, and the puzzle will vary depending on which riddle difficulty we're playing on. We'll find a pile of books, which are Shakespeare's works, and we'll need to return them to the shelf in a specific order to find out the code. Now, I'm playing in normal riddle difficulty, and by examining the book's spines, we can kind of figure out which order they need to go in. Now, the hard riddle difficulty is more involved. If you'd like to understand the solution to it, check the video's description where I'll have a link to more information. In normal difficulty, this code is random each time we play. And now that we've got the code, we can head out of here and have our first meeting with Claudia.
Hey, wait, what's going on? Where is everybody? Those weird monsters?
They have come to witness the beginning. The rebirth of paradise, despoiled by mankind.
What are you talking about?
Don't you know? Your power is needed.
How should I know?
I am Claudia.
So what?
Remember me, and your true self as well. Also, that which you must become. The one who will lead us to paradise with blood-stained hands.
Claudia, right? Did you do all this?
It was the hand of God.
I don't get it. What does she want me to remember?
The elevator is our only way out of here. Inside of it we'll find the radio, which will emit noise when we're close to enemies.
Is this a dream? It's gotta be. Not even a kid could believe in this. But when am I going to let go?
The mall distorts and we'll find ourselves in Silent Hill's Otherworld. Now there are a number of doors we can check here, but there's only one that will open, and only one path out. So from the elevator we'll turn right and head down the hallway into the door straight at the end. We can pick up the healing items and take a rest for a moment. Now into the mall's main hallway, if we head directly across and into the next room, we'll find that there's a ladder that's out of reach. This is our next goal, but we'll need to explore a bit more before we can get up there. Now there's a health drink in the phone cubbies to the right that I missed in this playthrough. If you'd like to, you can grab it on the way down this hallway. The first door we enter leads us to a storage room. There's a note here that hints us towards shutting off the lights. When we do that, we'll find the flashlight. The flashlight can be toggled with a button on the controller. On the PlayStation is the circle button or the right face button. In this bathroom, we'll find the Bleach key item. Interacting with the toilet stalls is optional, but adds extra flavor to the game. Now this cutscene is an Easter egg that can only be viewed if you have a completed Silent Hill 2 save on your memory card.
Oh, forget it. This is way too gross. Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
Silent Hill 2's protagonist, James, happens to put his hand in many nasty places, and this is a reference to that. Alright, let's keep going. There's only one room in this hallway we can enter. This is the Otherworld version of the shop where we found the closer enemy and the handgun. This time around we'll find the Bulletproof Vest and the Coathanger key item. Now that we have the Coathanger, we can return to the room with the ladder that was just out of reach. Now the Bulletproof Vest will do a couple things if you choose to equip it. First, it will reduce the damage that Heather takes from enemies when hit. Now this also has an advantage when blocking enemy attacks. Normally when Heather performs a block, it reduces enemy damage but doesn't completely eliminate it. With the vest equipped though, it will negate all damage. We'll use this to our advantage a few times during this playthrough. We're on the second floor of the mall. We'll find a TV we can interact with. If you've played Silent Hill 1, you might recognize the image of Cheryl in the static. There's a save point here we can use, then we'll head into the room just next to it and pick up a key item. You can continue to explore forward, though we do need one more key item to make progress. So I'm going to head back out and head up to the third floor. In the room to the right, we'll find a key in an unusual location. We can also find some healing items on this back shelf. In this landing there's a door with a moon symbol on it, which we'll need to remember for later. And there is a hallway that leads further into the third floor with a room that can be entered, but there's nothing inside. So we'll skip that and head back downstairs instead. There are 3 enemies in this room which we'll just avoid, though we will pick up some ammo and a health item on our way out. This leads to a hallway which also connects to the room which we found the Walnut in earlier. When we come back here, we'll take that route out to avoid the enemies in the room we just left, but for now we'll need to use the key that we acquired upstairs to exit through the back door. There are some health items on the shelf we can pick up, and we'll also find the next melee weapon, the steel pipe, hanging in the corner. Now the steel pipe has 3 different attacks that can be performed. The first is done by readying the weapon and then tapping the attack button. This performs a series of quick attacks, and Heather can keep moving while doing this. By holding the attack button, we can do a more powerful downward strike, which is good for finishing off downed enemies. And the last attack, which is a thrust with more range, can be done by holding the attack button along with one of the movement directions. All 3 of these attacks do have an advantage during certain situations. Alright, now we're in the second floor open landing area. We'll make our way counterclockwise and head into this door on the right. We'll find our next key item, the detergent, in this room, and then we can make our way out the other exit. We'll see that a fan is on here, and this will come into play in just a moment. In this next room, we'll find the hallway is blocked by a swarm of bugs. Swinging a weapon would do nothing. We'll need to find another way through. Examining the detergent and bleach in the inventory might give an idea as to what to do next. I'll head back into the hallway and turn off the ventilation fan. Then we'll head back into the room and combine the bleach and detergent, which creates a gas which will kill those insects. Heather rushes out as well, and we'll need to turn the ventilation back on to proceed. Now there are a bunch of doors in this hallway, but there's only one way out of here. In this area there are a few enemies to avoid, and we'll want to make our way into a room further down the hallway. In this room we can find a vise that can be used to crack open that walnut we found earlier. There's also a save point here if you need it, but I'm going to use the one near the escalator. Now this time around we find this room with a couple enemies in it. One of the nobodies is in our way, so I chose to take it out. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to exit out of here through the room where we found the walnut in so we can avoid the enemies in the other room. I'll make a quick save and then we're going to get ready for our first boss fight. Now, I'm going to equip the Bulletproof Vest for this fight. This is because I'm going to go with melee for this boss fight, and that vest will negate any damage I would normally take when I block. The easier way to deal with this is to just use the handgun, but I think that's what you might find in other Silent Hill 3 videos, so I want to do something a little different and show how it can be done with melee. Now we're dealing with the Splitworm. Since I'm going with melee, what I'm doing here is positioning myself close to where the worm will exit. Around a second after that worm emerges, it will perform an attack, and I want to time a block just right. Then I can move in close for 4 thrust attacks with the steel pipe. Now after that 4th attack, I'm making sure to move to the side where the worm came out of. This is so that if the worm decides to move across the room rather than back into the hole it came out of, we'll avoid being in its path and taking damage from it. And as I mentioned earlier, the easier way to do this is just to use the handgun, fire off shots, and then get out of the way.
What? It's the shopping mall just like before. Am I back?
So now Heather's left the Otherworld and we're back into the normal version of the mall. Normal, relatively speaking anyway. We can duck into Happy Burger on the right for a save point if you need it. We can also find some items here before we head back outside.
Heather!
It's you.
What just happened?
You must be one of them.
What did I do? And what do you mean by one of them?
You're in on this with that Claudia, aren't you?
Claudia? What about her? She asked me to find you, that's all.
So you are one of them.
Claudia did all that? Look, I was just hired to find you. I'm not on anybody's side. I don't know anything about this. Why don't you start by telling me what happened here? And that monster, what the hell was that?
I don't know any more than you do. All I know is that things are getting really screwy around here, and I got a weird feeling it's got something to do with me. Maybe you're just an innocent bystander, but I can't feel sorry for you because you dragged me into this. You know, if you hadn't found me...
What are you talking about? What's so special about you anyway?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be so confused, would I? But I know there's something. Something I've been running from and forgot for a long time. How did I remember that?
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Where are you going?
I'm taking the subway home.
What should I do?
Hell if I know.
Alright, now we're heading to the subway and we're eventually going to get funneled down into the concourse area. On top of the ticket machines, there will be a document we can find. This will be part of unlocking an optional cutscene in just a moment. We can pass the turnstiles and then grab the map from the wall. With the map in hand, we can head downstairs and find the save point. Then I want to show how we can unlock that optional cutscene. Though the subway is actually quite small, the first time inside of it can feel quite maze-like. So I want to regroup after the cutscene at the save point and show where we need to go. So for the optional cutscene, we'll head back from the save point the way we came, and then head down the stairway at the end of the hall. In this landing, we'll find another optional document we can read. Now you can pause and unpause the video if you want to read each page. We'll head down the stairway on the right, which is left from how Heather came into the landing, and by progressing forward, we'll find the encounter. Now we want to get back on that landing before the train arrives or it's game over. There's a health drink on this bench that we can grab, and then we can head back to that save point. There's nothing else here. Okay, let's take a moment to look at the map and discuss where we're going. So the subway's multiple levels can make it confusing. Also confusing is that at the lower levels, you can't cross area boundaries using the train tracks, or a train will suddenly appear and run Heather over. What makes this even more confusing is that our goal for the area is actually on the subway tracks, just one specific section of it. On platform 3, there is a utility door off the tracks, and that's where we want to go. It's kind of hard to see on the map, but it's on the right side here. Of course, there are a few obstacles to deal with, so we can't head directly there. There will be a key item we need to find on platform 2, so that's where we're going to head first. And with the route I'll be taking, we'll pick up optional items along the way. So from the save point, we'll head through the doorway at the end of the hall. We'll be in an area just below the concourse. Keep progressing forward and head into the left hall. Then make a left turn and we want to head down to the platform to north end. I'm going to shut my flashlight off before we get down there and you'll see why. So this platform is filled with dogs, and by having the flashlight off, we'll reduce the chance that they get aggressive. We want to do a little loop and head down the stairway directly below where we just came down. We'll find this level blocked off with some items we can pick up, and with another person who doesn't seem to be having a good time. Now we can head back up the stairs. We're going to head to the opposite side of the platform and head down the other stairs there. It's down on this side that we can find the item we're looking for, which is the Nutcracker. Alright, now that we have the Nutcracker, we can head back the way we came, back to the middle floor landing. From here we can proceed to the other end of the hallway towards Powell Garden. We'll find this door is held closed by a chain with a nut and bolt through it. So we'll use that Nutcracker to open it up and head down. On this platform, we'll find a train car with a couple doors open. We can head inside and pick up shotgun shells on one end, and then we'll find the shotgun on the other. Now that we have two firearms, I want to take a moment to explain something about the equipment system that might not be obvious on a first playthrough. So in Silent Hill 2, pressing in the right analog stick would use a healing item. In Silent Hill 3, this has been changed to use an item that you can choose to equip. So when you have a firearm, you can actually equip its ammo to this slot. This lets you press the right stick in to reload your weapon without returning to your inventory. In addition, if you equip a different firearm, the game will automatically swap the ammo in your equipment slot to the matching ammo for that weapon. Now I won't be using weapons to get out of here, but this seemed like an appropriate time to show this. Now that we have the shotgun, we can get out of here, and we'll find that the game's next enemy, the insane cancer, is blocking the way we came. That's alright, we don't need to return that way anyway, so we'll just pass by it and take the stairway that's below where we originally came from. So here in this lower landing, we want to continue forward and take the staircase down towards the Bergen Street platform. There's a stairway for St. Renata College before it, but all I found down there was a dog, so we'll just skip it. So this is the platform with the doorway we're looking for that I mentioned earlier. We want to get down on the tracks here and interact with the door at the end. As soon as we do that, we'll hear the subway train whistle blow and get attacked by a group of dogs. We just want to climb up on that platform and let the subway train do the rest. The door that just opened is our next goal, but it's not open on this platform. So we'll keep going to the next section, unlocking this door at the end. There are more dogs here to avoid, and we can't get onto the train from this section anyway, so we're going to continue forward and up the stairs at the end. And as we reach the top of this mini landing, we can just head down the stairs at the opposite end. And this will take us to the area where we can board the subway train. Now on the train, I'm going to be dodging enemies, so I'm going to equip the vest just in case. There are some items we can pick up on one of these benches, and then there's just one more enemy to deal with on the way. Now this guy puts up a serious fight, so we gotta get ready for that. Or we can just walk by him, either way. We'll be done once we reach the end of this cart. Getting out of the train, we'll find a save point and we'll need to prepare for the sewers. I think this is a good place to end the first part of the guide. I hope you'll join me in part 2, where we'll help Heather make her way through the sewers and then the office building.